Possible in part by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
There are roughly 90,000 dams in the US of A. Only 2,700 of them generate electricity. That's 3%. This used to be a 210-foot tall dam called the Glines Canyon Dam. It was one of the two dams on the Elwha River. In 2014, both of these dams were removed. The planning for it took 2 decades. It was the largest dam removal project in US history. Why remove them? Was it the cost? Or some other reason? This is a report by the United States General Accounting Office, particularly the Resources, Community, and Economic Development Division. The government was trying to restore fisheries on the Elwha River, but the dams were quite literally in the way. This report looked into the costs of removing the dams, the costs of mitigation strategies, like fish ladders, and how effective each strategy was in restoring fish to the Elwha River. So why not just add a fish ladder to the Glines Canyon Dam? Well, first of all, they're pretty expensive. At the Glines Canyon Dam and the Elwha Dam, the estimated cost of fish accommodations, that would be a fish ladder or pulleys or the like, range from about $20 to $40 million, depending on the method used. One of the greatest benefits of hydropower is how cheap it is, but these fish mitigation strategies would have increased the price of the hydro energy to about the same level as the local utility. Utilities are simply companies that deliver goods and services like water and electricity. Most of our electricity on island comes from Puget Sound energy. In addition to the increased energy costs that these fish mitigation strategies would bring, they don't get the benefit of sediment flow if you just keep the dams there. So the government decided that the best bet would just be to remove the dams. Let's get into the nitty-gritty details of dams, like this one here, Cushman Dam number 1. There are a lot of benefits to dams. They provide flood control, they provide water for human consumption, for irrigation, and for recreation. Cushman behind me is a pretty good place to spend an afternoon. In addition to that, their parts generally have a long life, which makes maintenance pretty easy. Cushman Dam number 1 here has been running since 1926. And makes enough electricity yearly for about 10,000 homes. Further down, Cushman Dam number 2 forms Lake Kokanee, and it makes enough electricity for about 18,000 homes. A second powerhouse was added down there in 2018, and that gives enough electricity for about 1,700 homes. On the other hand, low maintenance costs are balanced by a high upfront cost of building a dam. Our infrastructure is aging as well. Cushman Dam number 1 and number 2 are both nearly 100 years old. That's pretty damn old. Even if they are sturdy and easy to maintain, 100 years is a long time. There's also sediment and pollutant buildup behind this dam that needs to be removed periodically. And probably the most important drawback to any dam, and the most important one that's considered by any government or city, is that dams block the migration of fish. So the big issue here is balancing the need for cheap hydroelectric power with the need to preserve one of our greatest natural resources. Most strategies involve mitigation. In the EU, there was a project called Fit Hydro that finished just 2 years ago. It was just retrofitting existing dams with new technology that made them more sustainable. It included 13 dams, and the entire project cost about 7 million euros, which is a little less than $8 million. One of the strategies employed in fish-friendly dams is fish-safe turbines. For a long time, that just meant, a normal turbine with some mesh across the front so fish couldn't get in there. But that's changing now. One company called Nadal designed new turbines with thick, blunted blades that allow 99% of fish to get through. That's pretty good. Added bonus, these turbines are also pretty good at allowing sediment to get through there. So there's less sediment that needs to be trucked out behind the dam, and there's all the benefits that sediment brings downstream. And last but not least, these turbines are almost as efficient, if not as efficient, as conventional turbines. So the energy generated is, still up to par, even with these mitigation strategies. The technology to make dams even more sustainable exists. It's here, we can buy it. And our aging dam infrastructure makes this a perfect time to retrofit existing dams with new tech. Hydropower does have its issues, but the clean, consistent power we generate will be key in our switch from fossil fuels. It is impossible, I believe, to accomplish the UN's Goal 7, which is cheap, clean power, without dams. And luckily, solutions are being found every day to make dams even more sustainable. Thanks for tuning in.